Southern Vanguard Radio, this is DJ John Doe, and to the left of me is my man.
Lord Tulane Chino, Eddie, South Memphis, motherfucking East Macklemore Meeks in the building, SWAT's representative, Memphis, Tennessee, Black Haven is the neighborhood.
That's quite an intro.
Yeah, I wanted to expand a little bit this week. Yeah, expansion.
I like it.
Yeah, man.
It is a new year, a new age, a new day for you.
Hey man,
right?
these some nice goddamn headphones.
What
man.
are those? I didn't give you your regular. I didn't give you the AKG joints.
Nah, I don't wear these.
My bad.
I might need to go this route. These are nice as shit.
Nice and cushy. Well, yeah, they're not 25 years old like those other ones are.
You know, the other ones have sentimental value.
Yes, they do.
These are very nice. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get off on that.
That's all right. That's all right. I tell you what, these little headphones that came with, when we started this little show, this little podcast, I had to buy a few mics, and this little like, I guess value pack whatever thing that I got at Sam Mash included these here headphones.
That was a word I was going to use. I remember value pack.
Value pack, exactly.
Like
PAK.
Less than 100, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was 50.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we make these mics sound crispy, even though we're on a budget. So
well, how to twist them knobs.
Yeah,
and shit, so
exactly.
We ain't never worried about that.
How was your weekend, man?
Man, pretty low key, man.
Yeah,
I will not complain. I welcomed the rain yesterday because yesterday was a yard work day for me.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't make it.
So bring it on.
Yeah, let's go. I went out to the mailbox and I felt water on my face. I was like, well, all right,
don't have to mow the lawn today.
How about that? So that was cool, and just really been hanging out with my girls this weekend. My brother's in town as of
J-Rock.
today. Yeah, he's supposed to be coming through
later
on. Yeah, so we up for a night tonight.
All right,
let's
do
it.
For
a night,
I'm
man.
up for it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Football season has come to a close.
Finally, did they catch an L?
I caught an L, man. What's interesting? I was sitting there talking with another one of the football player dads, and we didn't score. So basically he's like, we just got to score, man. He's like, every time we score, we win. And I'm like, well, no shit. But he's like, no. He's like, every time we've lost, it's been a shutout. And I never looked at it like that. And so for whatever reason, like when we get points on the board, it's a wrap. And we couldn't make it happen. So
that's all right.
So Lassiter,
I bet they tried though.
Oh, we tried, man.
Yeah.
We're notorious for making a touchdown and getting called back for holding. I don't know what it is, but man, that happened to us so many times this year. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
So anyway, they got something to work on next year. But anyway, we're just gonna steamroll right into the next sport and fill up the calendar again. There's no breaks.
What's that, basketball?
Basketball, shit. Tom is playing flag football on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
Rhodes is going back into basketball. I mean,
Edith too.
Edith too.
Yeah.
Edith's playing basketball. Tommy's going to play basketball after football. Flag football wraps up. Shit, Harry's going to be. We got to find a sport to get the 1-year-old involved in.
Harry's going to invest in cryptocurrency. He's going to be a Bitcoin magnet. That's what.
Speaking of, I saw something where Ghost is on that shit now. Right after Eric showed us that shit with Nipsey.
Nipsey, yeah. Apparently, that's it.
That's
right
the
now.
thing right now.
Yeah, that's it right now.
That means we're late.
Yeah, and the dollar ain't shit no more.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Oh man, this adult life, man. We're adulting.
Hey, that's all we got.
All right, so let's get down to business. But before we do that, if you're a big fan of the gentleman that we have on the phone tonight, this is the first time you should be.
We know you are.
We know you are.
You probably don't know.
You may not know it.
Yeah.
But if you're a fan of this gentleman and this is the first time you're listening, first off, welcome. Second, make sure you go to one of your favorite platforms, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, Apple Podcast, or iTunes, whatever you call it nowadays.
Yeah.
Stitcher Radio. Make sure you share, follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We have a mix show that drops every week on Tuesdays, 90 minutes of me cutting it up and Meeks and I just talking shit and having a good time. And then on Thursdays, we have an interview session with a producer or MC, DJ, behind the scenes person, what have you. Last week, for example, Big Twins. Week prior was Bozak Morris. Yep. The week prior to that was I'm having a brain fart. Loot. I'm always so bad at this. Loot, yes, yeah. Loot, Dreamville's Loot. Mm-hmm. Anyway, just a cast of characters and personalities. We got it out there
for you. Y'all just gotta go get it.
Make sure you go check it out. That's Southern Vangard. Lead the U out of Vangard basically everywhere. Twitter, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, all that good shit.
No doubt.
All right.
Yeah.
So without any further ado,
I
am extremely excited about this interview session because one, I've actually never told our guest this. I never thought he'd do it. And two, I'd like to say I've been a friend of this guy for quite some time now. Mm-hmm. And man, I'm just so soup that this is going down right now.
This is an all John Doe interview, ladies and gentlemen.
I might hear Meeks get a word in.
I might get a word in every now and then. Like when we get to Truly Yours, I might get to say a little something about that. But other than that, be prepared to hear John Doe's voice throughout this whole shit.
Anyway, without any further ado, the mighty V.I.C.
V.I.C. baby.
What's up?
Yeah.
Vic, how are you, man? Welcome to the madness.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I thought it was never going to happen, John.
Oh, I know, right? Oh man, yeah. I really, honestly, didn't think that you would agree to ever doing this. So I'm really excited to have you.
Really?
On yeah. You never know, man. Some people, like doing these things, and some people don't. You never know. So.
No, it's true. It's true.
So anyway.
Dude, looking at your track record, this is the equivalent of talking to fucking Quincy Jones right now. We never thought we never thought you would do no shit like this. We some nobodies on the other end of this line. Even though John ain't shit. So yeah, man, we happy right now. This is dope. This is dope.
So Vic, what really got me kind of going on this, and we talked about it when I was in New York, I guess over the summer, and I was lucky enough to connect with you and your lovely wife, was an episode on Drink Champs with the Beatnuts. And Juju,
right.
I don't know if you remember us talking about this, but Juju was talking about how he mentioned just kind of in passing how you and him taught No ID and Doug Imp how to dig in Chicago a number of years ago.
Right.
And that's what that's what really kind of like, oh man, we got to make this happen. There's just so many stories. And then when we were hanging out that evening, you started telling me all these crazy stories about Todd Terry and all the work you did, in the house music scene, early on in your career. So, you just, right. I don't even know where to start, Vic. Like, I mean, can we start maybe at a little bit at the beginning? I mean, like, how'd you find yourself getting into this music shit, man?
I was DJing at like maybe 13 years old, 14 years old. It was a new thing. It was just like, that was, geez, I can't even tell you what year, but anyhow, but yeah, I mean, it was brand new. I had no idea of, I was hearing, friends of mine that would come from the Bronx and they would bring, mix. Not even mixed. Well, they were cassettes. He would bring them from the Bronx over to Queens, and the Zulu Nation. You have the Funky 4 plus one more, Cold Crush Brothers. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, when he would bring, I was always wondering, like, wow, how do you do this? And I met a couple of people. It was I skipped school every Friday to go to Downstairs Records. When Downstairs Records was in the subway, like the same where you would catch the 7 train on 42nd Street.
Okay.
I mean, they had a room with just 45s.
Oh,
That's
man.
all they sold. Breaks, just all 45s in one room, and then you cross, the hallway, and there was they had another big store that had all 12 inches in albums.
I think John just shed a tear.
That sounds wonderful. Now, what do you mean it was in the subway, Vic? Like, how is that possible?
Yeah, they had stores in the subway. Because 42nd Street.
Right. Okay.
So you have the space.
Gotcha.
So you'd have shops, and they had the 2 record stores across the hall from each other.
Mm.
So yeah.
And Vic, you say
it was
school,
crazy. I mean, you
skip
see guys
school
like
every Friday.
There.
You say you skip school every Friday?
Every Friday, I worked at the Key Food. So what I would do is go get my check, and the manager would be like, "Wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be in school?" Oh, and I'd give some excuse, whatever.
Every Friday.
I'd go straight into the city and go buy records.
That's what's up.
That's love right that's that was the ritual.
I got you.
So Vic, did you have family members that were really into music, or music just in your house growing up, or like always been into music before you kind of caught this particular bug, or
yeah. Pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
My sisters, they're like 11 and 12 years older than me. So they used to always buy albums, 45s albums. And that's how I got to know music. I mean, and it went from stuff in the late 60s, right through the 70s. So, and, right into the disco era.
Right.
So, I mean, we had, the 45s, I have pictures, of me riding in a scooter. I just would take all the 45s and put them on the handlebars. Yeah. And we had 45 stacked. I mean, today it's a digger's dream.
Right.
In today's world.
Gotcha.
You weren't thinking about that. You just think about buying good music.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it was mainly your sisters and you guys were just playing music, into music all the time. I learned all the music, from them. So it's funny because now I'll go listen, to a Jelly Bean Benitez play, and he's playing disco music, which obviously I wasn't going out at the time. I was a kid, but my sisters were. So I used to hear that music. So now it's like, I want to hear disco music. Right.
Like if I go out, I'm going to look what's he going to play tonight? Okay, I'm going to go.
Right.
Whether go out to Brooklyn or whatever it is.
Right.
That's what I want to hear is, soul classics and disco.
Right. And so this is growing up in Queens, right, Vic? Like what area of Queens are you from?
No. I used to, I went to Queens. I mean, we moved to Queens when I was about 8.
Oh, okay,
but
gotcha.
Before I actually grew up across the street from Lincoln Center.
Oh, okay.
So I was 8, and then we moved. Yeah, it was, I mean, even then they would have free concerts for the people in the projects. It was the Amsterdam Avenue projects.
Right.
Okay. So they would have concerts. So whether it was like a musical, like West Side Story, I got to see West Side Story. It was free for the community. Everybody, sit in the grass, whatever it was. Not one fight, nothing. Everybody, community.
That's crazy.
It sounds like good culture
it was crazy. And I mean, we'd see West Side. You know what that is? Like you don't have anything, and you get to see 3 nights in a row of West Side Story.
Right.
At night, summer night. Think about that.
Yeah, like that'll change your life, man.
Yeah, that changes your life. Like they need to do that more in communities these days.
Absolutely.
They don't do that. It's disgusting what goes on now.
Yeah, the arts and culture thing has there's so much money that has been taken away from that and put towards unnecessary things that it's just a complete thing of the past, man. And that's why I think that's a big part of why society is the way it is right now. Everybody's so withdrawn,
absolutely.
And cell phone crazy, technology crazy, just because the art isn't there anymore. Yeah,
the art isn't there anymore.
Yeah,
the art isn't there anymore. And the thing is, man, let me tell you, I was driving Tuesday. I think it was maybe not this summer, the summer before, or maybe about 2 summers ago. I'm driving to a town just to get some ice cream for my son, like a homemade ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
I passed by a theater. I looked to my right. I said, "Wow, I've never been in this town. It's like a little old. It's called Terrytown. It's in Westchester."
Okay.
So there, the arts is valued in that community. I didn't know. I had no idea. It's a really artsy town. So anyway, I drive by, see West Side Story. So I parked the car quick, and so I tell myself, let's just run up to the theater. I just want to see what's going on. And I see that for that night only, and they had people from West Side Story there, signing books, doing all that. And
wow.
Yeah, man, it was incredible. So I was like, man, we're going to watch this. I've never seen it in a movie screen,
All right.
So anyway, we got ice cream, boom, and we took pictures, got autographs, everything from the Jets, the Shark, guys from the Shark. Yeah, so it was great, and they had a Q&A. I'm like, man, and my son loved it.
Yeah,
I'm like, do you see what they did before? Do you see this?
Right.
Not to put down, like Broadway theaters. I've gone to a few Broadway plays and musicals, and they're great.
Mm-hmm.
But this, like I don't know, nothing is like West Side Story. Or
right.
things from that time.
Right.
Right. Not to mention you have to spend an arm and a leg just to get in. Now that's the other problem, right? Is that
and that's the other problem.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like who can afford these things? Like you want to show the youth this stuff, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So the arts are obviously a big part of your life growing up, then, Vic. I mean, from the music and just theater and just like Meek said, just culturally, just everything that New York had to offer at the time.
But New York had to offer exactly.
Yeah.
I've always heard stories about New York offering up things like that. Just back in the day, they really wanted to show kids a cultural side of life, artistic side of life, and that just doesn't exist anymore.
Right. No, it doesn't.
Wow.
It doesn't. And my son is lucky enough that last year the school had, and I'm totally shocked that they, the public school system, and especially in my city, actually put up some money for this program. It was an arts program, and they would have people from up and coming, people either to Broadway or off Broadway, and they'd come and perform with the kids. Like they do the class with them. Like it was their music class.
Yeah,
they participate with them. So they had it 2 times a month. So I was like, wow. That's great because they don't get this anymore.
No, they really don't. Yeah.
It's dead. And this summer, honestly, like, it wasn't okay. I mean, I haven't really looked for the arts outside or any, but music wise, and you witnessed that, John, when you were down here,
right
over there by the New York Museum.
Yeah,
you saw how people come out. It's a free event.
Yeah.
And that right there is old
DJ,
New York.
The grandma.
That's
When John told me he was right there, and that video like took a life of its own. And when John told me he was basically standing right there when that happened, I thought that was the illest shit of all time.
I saw the guy that I saw the guy when he was filming, when he was videotaping, because he was doing that all night. You know what I'm talking about, right, Jim? Yeah. He wouldn't stop.
Well, we all were. Like, Vic, you were taking movies.
Man,
I was taking movies.
She was killing that shit.
Dude, that could have been like...
everybody was.
That could have been any of it. There's probably 25 people that have some snippet of that thing.
That exact moment.
Yeah. And, you know...
That shit was crazy.
Yeah, man, that shit was wild. But yeah, that was a great night, Vic. I mean, this thing was just so jamming, man. It was just...
And I tell you, man, this is what... and that's what went on this summer. You know, they had Mobile Mondays did a great job. They did, you know, they had the party out at Penn Station, and they had what was the other? Oh yeah, they had the museum party, and they had what else? You know, well, they were normal Mobile Mondays, but also Tony Touch. He had the Coney Island wall, the art wall. So they had an all-day party, you know, to nightfall, starting like at 12 through the night. And they had the place packed. I mean, with Jelly Bean and all that. And it's a free event.
Yeah.
A free event, right off the... I mean, incredible music.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Well, maybe we're having a resurgence now, man. You know, maybe we're having a little bit of a resurgence because, you know, folks like us are getting the age they are, and we're kind of realizing we kind of have a duty to give back now. You know, maybe that's going to start becoming more regular.
I mean, I tell you, this summer was one of the I hated to see it go. You know, it was painful. You know, I mean, not just because of the weather. I love the warm weather, but no, it was painful because I went to so many places that had, you know, like incredible music. Just, you know, throughout the city. And most of the events were free.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I say, and I'm talking about, like, not most, like, I'm, you know, 60, you know, 40. I'm talking about, like, 90% or 85% of the places I went to.
That's the biz, too.
Free.
Hell yeah.
You know what the great thing about that joint that I went to with you was, like, it wrapped up by, like, I don't know, 9 o'clock. So it's not like you were out till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, it was a good 2-3 hour party, and then you were out. You could go home in the middle of the week, and it was okay. You know, yeah, it was dope.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's dope.
So on that note, you know, talking about, you know, the Mobile Mondays and, you know, DJing and whatnot. Is that what was it? Just, you know, being into music and then, you know, going to the record store every Friday. Like what eventually got you out there and started DJing? Like. What made you think you needed to be more than just, you know, a consumer?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. So I don't know, when I first started, it was like I said, you know, I would go buy the records and come home, and actually, who taught this kid that used to work in a bagel shop? It taught me how to DJ. A white kid, and he, you know, he was the first guy I knew that knew how to cut, and incredible. So I was like, so he'd come, you know, I brought turntables, and of course they were mismatched, you know, whatever. I didn't care as long as I had two. I had like a D1 techniques and then some Pioneer.
Oh yeah.
Didn't care. But anyway, so, you know, after like a couple of weeks, I got it. I wasn't making the record hiccup anymore. Moved the fader quicker, and you know, and then that was it, man. I'd come home straight to the turntables.
Yeah.
You know, that's the first thing I would do. You know, is before any homework, anything. You know, I'd start messing around, and next thing you knew, you know, I was, you know, I never. I mean, I used to DJ parties. People used to hire me for weddings at the time, and but I never went on to DJ, you know, because I used to go a lot downtown, listen to music. And I tried DJing out in Queens, and honestly, I was better than all of those. I hung around to listen to what the competition was, and I was like, I have to. They have to give me, you know, something, you know, like the job here. Period. So, you know, I kept on looking over the guy's shoulder. and they actually told me, hey, we'll let you know. But I overheard one of the guys saying, he's too downtown. He says he's good, but he's too downtown. I was like, too downtown? Like, what does that mean? You know, like, you know, and yeah, I guess, you know, and then, so, I mean, I'm a kid. So,
yeah,
you know, later on, I'm like, yeah, you know, I guess you were too progressive for what they were doing.
Right.
You know?
Gotcha.
So,
all right.
But, yeah. So anyway, so that was that. And, you know, once I found out there was an audio school, which was Center for the Media Arts, this one, I was going to school for electrical engineering.
Okay.
And, so what happened was I was in one of my friend's house and we're DJing, and he says, "Oh yeah, because there's a school for editing." And I said, "What?" And I looked at, wait a minute, there's a school that you can go edit and engineer and all that? He's like, "Yeah." So I'm like,
okay.
Where? And he gives me. So I'm like, that's. So I was it. I was like, that's where I'm going. You know.
Okay.
You know, I was like, nope. Switching everything right now.
Right.
And so that's what I did. And I interned at Power Play.
What years was this, Vic?
Yeah, that was when DJ Doc and all of them were there.
Okay.
You know, DJ Doc, Nordicato.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You know, got to see EPMD record with Doc.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking. I was going to actually. I booked sessions there after I started interning there, or just around the same time. But anyway, I heard one time I was trying to book a session there, and I was out in the hallway talking to the studio manager, and I was hearing Rakim do lyrics of Fury.
Ooh.
In what they used to call the B room.
Wait, you heard this while it was going on?
Huh?
You heard this while it was being recorded?
Yeah, you heard it clearly right out of the B room.
Jesus.
Wow. You heard the funky drummer beat, everything, and all the lyrics, and we're just looking at each other like, holy shit. What the fuck is going on, man? We're like, wow, I came at the right time.
That's ill.
Yeah, man. No, that's ill, man. I'm telling you, it's, you know, you look back and just sit back, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, like I got to witness. You know, you're just taking it all in, young, whatever.
Yeah.
Like when you sit back and look, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. So is it? Yeah. So what? How did you end up getting? Because wasn't most of your kind of first, I guess you could call it like kind of professionally oriented work, house music related? Like, how did that come about?
Oh, no. Okay. Well, the first production I had wasn't house. Okay. It was actually, no, wait a minute. No, it was actually, wow. I'm trying to think of the first record. No, it was on Fever Records. That was my first record. But it was a hip hop record, whatever. It was Level 1 on Fever Records, whatever.
Okay.
Then I think the second, you know, because it was right around the same time. And then I did the C Money, which Egon and put out on Stone Throw.
Right.
Ladies, can I have your attention?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So right around that time, I started working on some house music. It was 4-track, recorded on the 4-track, honestly. Everything was, you know, programmed the beat on a Casio RZ1 and played the bass live, and then I did an overdub. You know, I would condense the tracks, and then it was about 4:10. I added in some samples, so everything was recorded on a 4-track. I mixed it down, and somebody's, you know, plugged the 4-track into somebody's I don't even know what computer program they were using at the time, but they were using computers. And from there, a friend of mine, he pressed it up. And, you know, and at the time, you're talking about like 1988.
Right.
Yeah, something like that. And we sold about 8,000 pieces of vinyl.
Oh, really?
Like not even with a car, like going on the train and the subway, like with you know, the old lady shopping carts.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those. With one of those filled with boxes of records.
8,000?
8,000.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of records, man. That's some hard ass work,
like,
man.
I mean,
pushing that cart around. Man, oh my God. Yeah, fuck out the trunk, out the cart.
Out the cart, son.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's ill.
Yep. And it was amazing because I mean, it was an underground thing, but you know, they used to play it on mix shows. Yeah. Like I would hear it live from the Palladium while they used to, you know, it was on one of the stations.
Yeah.
I think it was Kiss FM at the time or something like that.
Yeah.
And they'd have live from, you know, one of these stations that had live from the Palladium. And, you know, I'm hearing it. I'm like, wow. You know, and you know, you're trying to get your foot in the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was funny because it was around that time of, and I told you this, John.
Yeah.
If you ever go and listen to the record, you'll hear that it has that sound that was kind of happening, and I think Todd Terry was like the king of it. You know, he came out with a certain sound.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's you know, it was similar because I used his drums, but as far as the, you know, if you listen to his songs mine was more mellow, but it had drive.
Gotcha.
But it was funny because I was in a session with Nordy Cotto, laying something down, and he was on the phone with Todd, and Todd was like, you know, I don't know what was being said on the other line. He says, "Yeah, I'm here with your boy Vic Padilla." And so you know, that's code word for I know you don't like him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
your boy, yeah. Right.
But I'm here with him now, with your boy. You know, I'm like, okay, never met the guy. What is going on here? Like, I don't even know. Like, you know, why would he be involved with me? But that's like, it's the record. It kind of has his sound. Yeah. So he was probably like, "The fuck is this?" You know? I don't know.
Yeah, but didn't you tell me too that when you were telling that story to me though, didn't you say you ended up kind of recently seeing Todd out or something like that? And
no, yeah. Well, I saw him at some how you call it? It was like a reunion, like a Bobito and Stretch Park.
Right.
So I had bumped into him and Kenny Dope, and I was speaking to him, and so I kind of like, who, you know, let him know who I was or whatever. I said, yeah, you know, hey, what's up? Oh, yeah. He goes, you know, I said, because I mentioned Greg Nice, because Greg Nice went to the studio to record vocals over a beat I did.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I did the Greg, and he was like, oh, you know, so he knew exactly who I was.
Right.
Every time I hear some record I liked, and it would be your beat. I was like, yo, this fucking little nigga, you know, this guy, like, I don't know. I'm Spanish guy, 5'8". So,
right.
So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Not many people Todd Terry would probably say that about though, Vic. I mean, I know you're being super humble right now because that's the type of guy you are, but when you told me that story over the summer, I was just floored, man, because you know, I can't imagine that's something that comes out of Todd's mouth very often. So that's cool, man. Yeah. That's great to hear.
Vic, why not stick with house music?
You know, I guess, I don't know. You know, it's funny because people used to ask me that, and it was, you know, growing up and, you know, being in Corona and doing the music. When I was hanging out with, you know, when I was first hanging out with Juju and Les.
Okay. I think you just answered the question with that statement right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys used to say, man, why don't you do the house music too? You know, I'm like, I would like to. And I mean, even Juju used to say that. Juju said, yo, you know, like there was a record station to station. And you know, he was like, oh my God, this is incredible. You did, you know, he was floored. And, you know, so, I mean, I think good music is good music. And so, you know, I love all genres anyway. But anyhow, but I didn't have the time. It was like you said, that's it. You know, I'm part of this right now. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't make house music like, you know, that went to the back burner. That's it.
Right.
So how'd you meet those guys, Vic? Like, what's that story?
Well, Juju, I know. I mean, I'm a little older than him, so you know, but I know him from you know, school, and again, you know, me being older, these are different, you know, and then mostly going out, you know. So
gotcha.
I'd say what's up, and you know, we talk briefly, you know, but you know, I used to see him out, and then finally, we had, you know, I told him I saw him out in Corona, and I said, hey, come by my house. You know, I said I got a little studio, and I want to show you some music. So he was like, oh, man, you know, so he every time, I mean, I'd ask him, and say, you know, I'd call his house. Oh, he's not here. He's not here. He's not here. I'm like, oh, gosh. Well, you know, when is this guy ever home? So you know, I called him outside. I said, yo, I said, I've been trying to call you, like come through. And finally, you know, one day, you know, he comes over, he knocks on, I was my mother's basement. He knocks on the window, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? And I look, and it's him. I'm like, oh shit, this guy finally came around.
Right.
He goes, yo, I never knew you did this record. I had a distribution deal with a company called Indie.
Okay.
And so I had a small label, and that's when I first did the Ladies Can Have Your Attention.
Oh, okay. So,
I put out a couple of house records, right? And I was also putting out hip hop records. So I did a record with Smooth Movement. It was the original Dr. Butcher was rhyming on it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he was the first Dr. Butcher.
Yeah.
And so Juju heard this record, and he tells the guy in the record store, plays it, and he's like no, well, he's ready to play it, and he says no, I don't want, you know, because Juju asked him, hey, do you have any new records? Sorry about that. Do you have new records? So the guy's ready. Oh yeah, so he's playing them stuff. He pulls out the record. He goes, no, I don't want to hear. That's a house label. I know that label, and that was my label. And he's like, no, but he goes, no, I know the record on that. It's a house record. I want to hear it. He goes, no, but let me play it, man. It's a hip hop. He plays. He says, holy shit. He goes, that's the record I wanted.
No way.
You know, because he thought it was Grand Poobah.
Oh.
So prior to that, he was asking the guy, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. He asked him, he says, you have a new record by Grand Poobah? And the guy said, I think I know what you're talking about.
That's ill. So what record store was it? Was this a record store in Queens?
Record.
Right.
It's a record store in Queens, right on Junction Boulevard.
Okay, ill. Wow.
Yeah. So he's just like, no, this is the record you're telling me. He says, no, it's a house label. I don't want it.
So Juju found out you did that record, and then he finally came to the crib to check you out.
Yeah, he brought doubles. He said, yo, well, you make me buy doubles. I've been trying to invite you. But that's his ammo. You know, you know that your guy should have been a lawyer. You know.
Oh, that's funny.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, so that was that. You know, that's how we met. You know, that's when he started coming over, and you know, I started teaching him. Like, he used to use he used to use one of these chord samplers, right? And this sampler didn't have any MIDI, so you had to trigger it by hand.
Yeah.
So he used to do chops, and obviously I don't know what he did, but he used to kind of, the stuff that the manual doesn't tell you that you can do, and you can actually do something, differently from what the manual says or never even mentions.
Yeah.
Well, it was one of those things. So he was able to trick it into sampling in back so he can do a chop. So he let the record go, sample it, stop it, hold down the button, and, grab the other record and, I don't know, quickly let it go. And so he would get to do a chop with just one, where something was just meant to sample it straight for a few seconds.
Gotcha. Okay.
You follow me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so it was like one of those tricks. So that's what he used to use. And he showed me beats of that. And I was like, you need an MPC or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, nah, so he's like, dang, I don't know how to use it. So when I brought him over and, I was tapping and he'd bring some records and, I'd help him put it together. He was like, yeah, man, I need to get one of these.
Well, this is a 60?
I need one. So
what was this?
Yeah, this was a 60.
Okay.
MPC 60. Yep.
Okay.
So, I told him you need to get, so I pushed him to get one, I pushed him to get one. And then, from there it was, it was a thing of, hey, I use it. And, I learned more about digging. They're learning more about the technical and,
right.
And really, say, hey, this is my idea. This is what I'm hearing. And now I can make it happen. Sometimes it's different when you're trying to explain it to someone.
Sure. Yeah.
You see it in your mind,
right.
So, but sometimes it's hard to get across.
So were native tongues around at this time, like Tip and all those guys? Because wasn't Juju and Les running around with those guys as well? Or
yeah,
no?
they were. Yeah, that was just before I came into the picture.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So they were down with Tribe with them. Yeah,
right.
And
okay.
I had came in like with the Funky Lemonade remix. Like no, it was way into. So it was more at the end of the Chiali.
Gotcha. Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what you guys just started putting like demos together is like for the first Beatnuts EP, or like how did that all end up coming together? Like how did you end up?
Well, okay, yeah. What they needed. This is what happened. What they needed to hand in a couple of demos to Chris Lighty.
Rest in peace, Chris Lighty.
Chris Lighty.
Yep. So they were trying to get it together. They came over. We recorded something, and but the next day it was like, hey, we don't need it. We don't need it any longer. They just said, let's do the deal. So that was that. So it was time for them to record. So I went in from record one on the Intoxicated Demons.
Right.
We would program stuff in my house, and Variety Studios, which was in a huge building on 42nd Street, right down the block from the Peep shows when it was just when it was what it what it's not.
Right.
Right. What it was before, it's definitely not what it is now.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So so it was right. I mean, you had a lot of different studios in this building. You had Power Play. I mean, not Power Play. Hit Factories. They used to master the records there.
Mm-hmm.
For hit, like you had Chris Geringer and people like that working there.
Right.
You had some other studio there. Geez, I forget the name of it. I worked in there one time. And you had Mark the 45 King working out of there.
Okay.
It's like it was like a really good, building as far as like for music. I mean, it was everything in that building. It was huge, but yeah, they had some. So it was like a really cool building. So we would go there also and program music till like 5 a.m. Just lay down tracks, laying down tracks, see what was going to be what. it was going to be used, not used, or so. I mean, that was months. But the thing was, we weren't getting a lot of things, like vocally, nothing was really getting done. And so I was like, hey, you know what? We need to stop coming here and go somewhere else. So I kind of just like stopped the whole thing. I was like, nope, we're not coming here anymore, because the engineer would joke around with us. And that it become a weed smoking, beer drinking, time joke.
Yeah,
more partying than work.
Was jokes. Yeah, more partying than work. And
it was costing money
working.
too.
It's you're working at a snail's pace. You're just laughing. And, you're working very casually. Like, instead of going in there, let's do this, let's do that, and keep. I mean, there's a place for it, but every day wasn't, it was not working.
There wasn't a place for it.
So I took him to Rich Keller, which he used to do like third base and stuff, and Pete Nice.
Mm.
An engineer. He had a studio out in Fort Lee, New Jersey. So it was right over the bridge.
Mm.
And this is funny because the A&R wasn't doing anything. And, many years later, I come to see, shit, I was the A&R of that fucking project.
Oh, yeah. Intoxicated Demons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. In speaking in reality, technically speaking, he has the job. So his name goes on there.
Right.
But
and in regular fashion, he didn't actually do shit.
Yeah. No, he didn't. He was whatever, just record. And so I was the one taking them. I was the one who took charge. We're going to record here. We're going to do this. We're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And because I'll tell you about that later. But anyway,
okay.
But yeah, so we, that most of the album was done there at Rich Keller's place, and then we mixed it in at Chung King.
Okay.
So
but the messed up part was.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So yes, so we mixed it at, they were mixing it at Chung King. Now going back to the A&R story, the A&R was trying to get rid of me. Like, he was playing both sides. He was like, oh, you guys don't need Vic to mix, or he's kind of a distraction, blah, blah, blah. And then now, because I didn't know this, obviously, this is what he's telling them. And then he's telling me, oh, you don't need those guys. You have access to all these records and everything, man. You don't need them.
Weird.
So, yeah. Yep.
Sound like an A&R to me.
Yep.
That's bugged out. So
no talent, just sneaky,
Yeah. Shady as hell.
Just that's it, just shady business. Yeah. That's it.
So Vic, is that why you weren't kind of a more up front and center, kind of visible part of the group, or at least its image? Because I mean, it, as far as my memory, serves, I mean, it was, you were an integral part of the Beatnuts, but pretty much, it seemed to me, at least in the beginning, that Jew and Les and Fashion were kind of the face of it. I mean,
right, yeah, and that's what it was meant to be. Because the thing was, we had Beatnuts Productions, which was a different. It wasn't, group. They were the ones signed to the label.
Right.
And then we had a contract between me, Jew, and Lester. We had a company, Beatnuts Productions.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So that played out how it was supposed to. That wasn't due to any A&R fuckery or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
And I mean. Not necessarily. I mean, it was kind of something like, hey, they're the MCs, like in reality, and I would say stand back too, that I'm not going to say it's all, all of, hey, I'm just in the production part, because I was, but I mean, I know I rhymed on it, but that's because fashion was away.
Right.
Gotcha, and then we made a beat, something about beat taking, whatever, and it wasn't like I'm writing. Juju used to write those rhymes. So,
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
That was it.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. So that's that. It wasn't like any shady stuff going on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I was just curious.
I mean, there was, but there wasn't. Not
in regards to that specifically.
That.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Not to, in regards to that, no.
So it was was it Intoxicated Demons and Street Level? Like, were those all come from more or less kind of the same sessions, or was there a marked difference between like coming out of Intoxicated Demons and working on the full length, or how did that kind of play out?
Well, going one from the other. It took a minute, I think, to start that Street Level. Yeah, because Intoxicated Demons was out, and what year was that? 92.
Yeah.
Right, or 93. But anyway, yeah, there was a lot of touring, shows.
Now, were you going on the road, Vic, or no?
Yeah, I went on the road. Yeah, I mean, I went on the road a few times, like especially like in the promo period. But then also shady stuff went down at that time, and look, and I think it was more, and not because I still speak to all of them, like I speak to all of them. I have nothing against, even if something happened between, like, I think everybody had something with fashion, right?
Okay.
But I speak to him. I mean, I just made contact, but he's a different person now, and I've spoken to him about this. So and he apologized. He was like, hey, you know what, man? I know I was caught up in. I said, listen, I know people get caught up in little, like, hey, we're all together, but me and, like, I kind of really want you out, like,
right.
Not everybody gets caught, but there's always somebody in a group that will get caught up.
Right.
That doesn't want any threats, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what it is.
Right.
And nothing, and nobody wants to be, but nobody's threatening your job. You have your job, just like I have my job. I'm not scared of you taking my job.
Right.
So why vice versa? I mean, come on. Anyway, but yeah. So I'm hearing stuff that, why bring Vic on the road? We, now they're starting to get paid for shows.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
so
right.
yeah. So now all of a sudden I'm not going in.
Right.
But
yeah.
You told me. He was like, hey, Tariq doesn't want you, going, because then we gotta, he does your verse because this way, we don't have to pay you.
Yep.
Basically, in a nutshell, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man. That's too bad, man.
But yeah, so I was like, okay. I said, I see how it works.
Right.
But it didn't push me away.
Sure.
It didn't push me away. So I'm like, okay, fine. So we're gonna, we're gonna be recording these songs anyway soon. Another album.
Right.
So here comes Street Level.
Right. The Monstrous, Are You Ready? Good
Rich Keller. Say again.
So, Monstrous, Are You Ready, man? Oh my gosh.
Oh man, yeah, that was a whole lot of fun, man. That whole album was incredible. It was a whole lot of fun, man. To just bring beats like Are You Ready was done right in the studio. Didn't even start it at home or anything. It was just took out 45s, one of those sessions.
Yeah.
Which you probably shouldn't be having it, at the rate we were playing, but
right.
Right. Well, what are you going to do? Sometimes you do those things on the fly, and those are the best
Yeah.
Those are the best records, you know?
Okay.
Or one of your favorites. Yeah. So once we did Are You Ready, it was crazy the way it all came together. How Puba, he was in another room. I went, spoke to him. He came to listen to the beat. He was like, yeah, I want to get on this.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Hell yeah.
I was like, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Puba Maxwell.
Yep. Yeah, that guy's incredible.
What a joint. So I'm sorry, Mix, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, Street Level is of course the second LP. So is it safe to say that industry politics and shadiness and what else goes along with all that, that second LP was pretty much the end of the road for you?
That's where the politics really got heavy.
Yeah, was that a conscious decision by you, or was it other group members voting you out again?
Yeah. Of course it continued.
Okay.
And you walk in the session, you see the rolling of the eyes.
Wow.
What's that?
Damn.
What the fuck? What is that? What is that about, Vic? Like, seriously,
and honestly,
was it just fear?
I'm not going anymore.
Was it insecurity?
That's what I'm saying. That's going back to, hey, I'm not afraid of you taking my job. You know, so you're insecure. You think that I can push you out at any second.
And that definitely wasn't your intent, right?
No, of course not. Okay. I never wanted to be an MC.
Okay.
I never wanted to rhyme. I enjoy it, but it's, I enjoy listening and oh wow, that's incredible, but that was never my intent. It was never like, hey, you know what? Now all three of us can make beats and all three of us can rhyme, and then you'll be asked out,
Right. But we talking about so basically we talking about some fear and some insecurity stemming from the debut EP.
Debut EP, exactly.
World's famous, right?
Right.
And you didn't even write that verse, right?
No.
So what the fuck?
Forced to do it.
You were forced to do it, and then motherfuckers get scared.
But yeah, exactly.
That's classic material right there, homie.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
And this is the thing, is that if you know Les likes to joke around a lot, right? And he'll mess with you. He'll mess with you, but it's all in a playful way. So he, Tariq he wasn't even locked up. He was like in some program. But anyway, he was away. Okay. So that's why when Les played him World's Famous, played it to him over the phone.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
He goes, yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's going to take your place. That's it.
So you must have delivered the shit out of that verse. That's what that was. You delivered the hell out of that verse, and this motherfucker was like, oh my God. When I get out.
Yeah.
It's on.
Yeah. And the people only knew it took me 2 hours and a half.
Yeah, right. It's like that. Right. It's like those stories of fucking Eazy-E.
Right.
And then,
kicking everybody out of the studio because I can't rap and I don't want motherfuckers to see. Oh shit,
that's classic.
Damn, man.
But Vic, so I mean, you knew this was coming though, because around the same time the Street Level drops, and all the shit's going on, you start spreading out a little bit production wise. I mean, you get that massive remix, which you have to tell the story because you told it to me. You're on the Nas One Love 12-inch. You're really kind of spreading out, around this time. It seems like what was going on.
And yeah, of course. I knew what was going on, and I knew what was happening. So that's when I was like, I stopped going to sessions. the road manager, Rickman, at the time was saying, you need to come back. You need to come back to the studio. Nothing gets done without you.
Right.
He says they're ordering food, smoking weed, and drinking, and are stuck. They're not doing anything. They're just stuck. You got to come back, man. That's all. I don't know, man. It's the whole fashion thing. It bothers me. He's telling Lucien. Lucien is telling me, watch out.
Right.
He's telling me, watch out. And, for this guy, he's like, he's saying that, you're using them. So what does it look like when I get pushed out? Or when I feel like, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this. That's not my character.
Right.
I don't want to deal, like I know who I am. I don't want to have to deal with friction in a workplace, in something creative, something that you're supposed to have no boundaries.
Right.
You can't. That right there, you're limiting my creativeness. That's it. We're not in the same. We're not seeing eye to eye. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'll go, but trust me, you're gonna be gone too. Right. Because the same way you're gonna have to find one of these two guys now to have it out with.
Right.
You're not going to be the one staying, buddy.
Yeah.
The same shadiness you showed me, you're going to try and do one of these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what happened, right? Stone Crazy. It was just doing less. That was it.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And and guess who got to go mix a lot of the record? They had to go master it. And we mixed a lot of stuff right out of Juju's house one night.
Oh, really? You mixed? You were on Stone Crazy mixing? Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I mixed a few of those records, and I can't even tell you which ones. But I know it was like 6 of them in one night. I don't know if they ended up, because they had to master in the morning. Like, you gotta come. I gotta get these records. So he had a 1-inch in his house or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you mix off the books?
And no, I originally, but that off the books, that's on the SSL.
Right.
That they went in and did.
Yeah.
But originally,
they broke that out.
We did it. We mixed it right in Juju's house that night before mastering.
Really? Wow, that's crazy. I didn't realize that, man. Would that have been in the credits? Did I miss that?
So I don't know if they went. Magic question is, I don't know if they went back in and said, okay, well, let's finish these few records that we tried to mix. I don't think so. I don't know what happened, but I know I went in and did 6 songs that are on that record.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm going to ask, it's a good thing to know. I'm going to ask Les.
I didn't realize that.
Did you ever go back and redo those records? Because I know they definitely went back and redid the Big Pun, like that mix, because they got them on there and whatever. Yeah. I mean, they had to have, it was going to be a 12-inch. You don't want to mix out somebody's house, especially at that time.
Yeah.
It's not like you have wave plugins like today and
right.
A little bit of outboard gear or whatever. And it's like, okay, I can make it crazy.
Right.
But yeah.
So when did you? So how did you start? Kind of once things started going, I guess sideways. How did you kind of branch out and start getting some of that remix work? On your own. Is that when you formed? Is that when you formed Groove Merchants, or like what was that? How did that all?
Yeah,
kind of go
I started doing. It was funny because I was still using Beatnuts. On some of the work when I was kind of like still there, but like exiting.
Right.
Where I could have probably just used my name. So, anyhow. So
what joints were those?
I think Nas was the first one.
Okay.
That I did. Yeah, Nas was the first one that I did. That was it. I just I just used a totally different name.
Gotcha.
That was the start of Groove Merchant with Godfather Don and myself.
Now you told me a really interesting story how that went down. Didn't you? You told me. Didn't you hear One Love at your house or something, or somebody's house, like the original or something?
Yeah, how it happened was.
This story's crazy, dude. This story's nuts right here.
I got questions about these remixes, like the process and everything. But go ahead with the story.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, so what happened was that Steve Stout, right? He was managing me at the time. He was managing all of us actually. So as far as production. Yeah, Steve Stout. So he tells me, he says, well, I'm going to get you the One Love remix. So he tells Faith Newman without her hearing anything. He's like, yeah, so I got Vic and I want to do the remix and blah, 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 blah. And he's having dinner with her and she's like, okay, she agreed to everything he said. Like she didn't even hear a beat. And she goes, wait a minute, I haven't even heard anything. And he goes, don't worry about it. He'll have it, let's just go. So they came to my house, the famous basement.
Right.
And, they came there and it was when DJ Clue was actually Steve Stout's intern at the time,
okay.
And I played the remix out of the 1200 and she was like, yeah, I like it. And, so I was like, all right, well, it was a done deal. And, they gave me the acapella. Of course it was drifting.
Right.
Because you know how that goes.
Yeah.
The timing, whatever. And then when I heard the naked drums, of Q-Tip, you could hear like the little skip,
Right.
So yeah, you heard the little skips. Like once you hear everything, broken up, you're like, wow, okay, so
like
that's
shit.
That's what it's really doing. So the vocals are going to be off if yours is right on a click or something,
Right.
So yeah.
So wait. So when was Illmatic already out?
That was
right, because the One Love was like what that was what the second or third single, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so it was already out, but because they did 2 remixes for that 12-inch, right? Is that right? Am I?
Yeah, Beat Miners. I think Beat Miners did one. Didn't they do one? Was it them? No, it wasn't Beat Miners.
No,
it was.
I can't remember who it was.
Oh man,
no, Tip did another remix. Didn't Tip do another remix? I think Tip did a remix on that 12-inch. I could be wrong.
Did he?
No, Tip. I thought Tip did like another flip of it or something, but maybe
I don't know. I know they had quite a few.
Yeah, they had it was a bit. Yeah, it was a busy 12-inch, but
Yeah. I forget that producer's name. That was killing me.
Yeah, man,
because he was pretty well known.
Yeah.
I had stepped out for a second. Did I miss Truly Yours?
No, we skipped right over that.
We skipped over that.
No, I think that was chronologically in our prep notes.
Vic, let me get my fan shit out the way. That fucking Truly Yours haunts me to this day. The drums on that shit.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
this the deal with Truly Yours.
Yeah,
okay.
I saw this in an interview. I saw this in an interview somewhere about you having the 45 and you handed it to
I played
Marley.
it for G-Rap.
G-Rap.
I played it for him in my basement, and I played it. And he was like, he smiled, from ear to ear. And I was like, man, I hear you on this. He's like, yeah. He goes, I hear myself on that. and he's like, hell yeah. So I gave it to him, and he gave it to Marley. Actually, yeah, he gave it to Marley, and Marley hooked it up.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny because Polo tried to, from years later, I hear the story, from one of Large Professor's boys, Vandermeter, that he used to play drums. He used to be in Large Professor's crew. But anyway, he tells me, he's like, "Oh man, that was your 45?" I was like, "Yeah." He says, "Oh man, Polo said that was his." I was like, "Yeah." Okay.
Hell no. Damn.
That's crazy.
Damn it, man.
Yeah. I said, "I've never. The guy used to live around the corner from me, but I've never had a conversation with him. Never was interested. So
that's
I was
hilarious.
Like, yeah. Whatever. Your Mercedes Benz looks like you painted it with house paint.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So Vic, I see a common.
He was one of those guys. Okay?
I see a common theme here, Vic. You strike fear and inferiority and insecurity in the hearts of mere mortal men, man. What is it about you, Vic?
It's too goddamn good, man. Music's too good, dude.
Man, I never heard so much hatred on an interview session in my life.
Oh my God! Yeah, no, it's it's bad out there.
What about George, Vic? How'd you end up connecting with George? I'm curious.
Oh yeah. Well, that was at the time when we were doing the Beatnuts, the Intoxicated Demons. So I met George at some party through Juju and Prince Paru. And George came over to listen to some beats from Juju. So they were supposed to meet in my house, and we're waiting. And I was like, "Dad, I don't know if he's coming." He goes, "Oh, can you try calling him again?" Called him a few times, nothing. So I tell him, I said, "Oh, I have some beats." I said, "You want to hear some beats?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, we can wait a little longer." Like, in other words, I'm not interested in what you have. I'm here for Juju. So I'm like, all right. So after a while, Cotty's with him. So he says, "Man, let him play some music, whatever. Just play whatever." And so I start playing him beats. I played him "Walk Like a Duck." He went crazy. "I want that one there. I want that." Yeah, I mean, he was like, I think he called Pete Nice right on the spot.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Listen to this beat, man. Listen to this beat." He goes, "I want this." And so when Pete heard it, and then Pete Nice, I heard, was trying to take it from him.
Oh, for what? For solo shit, or
for himself. I guess for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to get it from him, and George fought. And he was like, "Nah, man. Like, I went and got this. Like, that's like." He's like, "Oh yeah, no problem." But he says he was trying to weasel him out of it. So, yeah.
You had some heaters on there though, Vic. Walk Like a Duck, Mansion in a Yacht.
Uptown, and Uptown
shit.
Hit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Uptown Hit. I mean,
yeah. Well,
damn.
shit is the
yeah.
Yep.
That's the burners on there,
but
man.
Yeah.
Vic, what you drinking over there, man? I heard.
Oh man, no, I'm just pouring water.
You sure that's water? It sounds a little thicker than water, man.
Nah. Yeah, that's the water.
Right. Yeah. Just like we're drinking water over here,
yeah,
right?
That's how we drinking.
Yeah, but I had
it's a little tainted, but it's water at the end. of the
those
day.
things make you thirsty.
Yeah, I'm so thirsty.
Oh man, that's funny. So Vic, we got like a trillion things we can continue to talk to you about, but I do have a few that I want to hit on before we let you go. And I know that's probably a little bit of a stretch what I said at the beginning about how you taught No ID and Doug Infinite to dig, and that was really Juju's words, on that podcast. Yeah. But can you tell us? Yeah, no, those are Juju's words, not Vic's, for the record. But I mean, can you talk a little bit about how that I don't know what that connection was, and I mean there was you guys were kind of collaborating, working together. And it's so odd too, because at the time I didn't realize and know all the backstories, but I remember when, I guess what, there was that remix of State to State that that was for No ID's, debut album. Like I remember when ID's album came out and I loved it. And I was obviously into all the Beatnuts shit. And I didn't realize, you guys were connecting, in the background. Can you tell us a little bit about how that developed?
Yeah, well, I met No ID. I mean, we all met through Peter Kang, which was the A&R at the time, Relativity. So me and No ID hit it off pretty well. I think between everybody. No ID used to come to New York, and he used to just stay at my crib, and we used to go record digging, rent a van or something, and just go out to Philadelphia. One time we rented a van. It was No ID, Common Sense, Godfather Don. I think Juju was there. I forget who and myself. There was about a good 6 of us.
It's quite a van.
That's a van for your ass.
Yeah, no, and that was fun, man. That was cool. I mean, I wish I had footage of that.
Right.
That
would be awesome.
That was a good moment. That's wow. That's a wow, man.
Hell yeah.
You look back. It's one of those moments. It's just that you look back and you're like, holy snap, man.
That's doper than the Scooby-Doo van, the Mystery Machine. That's a goddamn van right there, boy. Vic, how does it make you feel coming from an event like that and to see No ID in all his splendor right now? Just coming off, a huge thing with the 444 album and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like is that a good feeling for you?
Yeah.
Like, do you keep in touch with him?
Great feeling. Yeah, I mean, it's a good feeling. It's inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
So, I saw No ID a few years ago, and he's with the Nas thing, but it was a little bit different. He wasn't too talkative.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, just email me or whatever. And, it was, so I don't know if I'd go out and reach out to him, to be honest. I think, now I started working again. So if, once I have some, a few things, it depends. I may do that. I would probably, but as far as him doing that, it's inspiring to me. It's inspiring to me because, I was part of his beginning,
right,
so to speak. So it makes me feel good. It's like, okay, I know some people, oh man, that person will, no, but you have to think about, you're part of the development, of that,
yeah.
even if it was the early years, but you're part of that because, the guy used to call me every night from Chicago, every night.
Wow.
Hey, what drum beat is Large Professor use on this thing? Blah, blah, blah. Give him the title. And, I guess Chicago was open.
Oh, yeah.
So untouched. So
absolutely.
I know that I give him a title and he's finding it.
What year we talking about, Vic?
Oh, this is 91, 92, right? 93?
Yeah, about 90. Yeah, about 93.
Chi-Town is untouched.
Oh, bro. Can you imagine?
Untouched.
Dude, I mean, he would come, next day. I'm talking about every night. We'd stay on the phone talking about records, beats, and who used this, who used that. And, I was his go-to guy in the beginning.
Yeah, that's dope.
I would go to his house. We'd go record digging. He'd take me some massive warehouse that you needed. You weren't digging. Even if you opened and closed with the guy, you're not going to that warehouse. You got to go back a few days.
Right. That's crazy.
I was just finding, like beat after, oh my gosh, man, it's disgusting. Yeah. And then, doubles, triples. And it's like, okay, I can't take all this because he has so many records that I'm going to run out of money just buying doubles and triples.
Right.
It's like,
Getting them for a deal too, right? Getting them for a deal. I mean, even in the early 90s, they're not New York prices, right? I mean, these are...
No. They were still good prices. But you got to think, we're in a place where, you can go to your $3 shop, $5, and it was still great.
Right.
But then, the records here, a little more organized, big warehouse, they're in great shape.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't New York prices, yes. It wasn't convention prices.
Right.
Absolutely. But it wasn't super cheap either,
Yeah.
Especially in the places where they knew what they were selling. But like the places in Chi-Town, man, I mean, it was those were good prices. Unless you went into the like the center of town.
Right.
That there was could get pricey.
Right.
But you still find stuff, man. I mean, you find a lot.
Sure.
It was crazy because you go shop after shop, just walking. I remember, going out there. It was, Kanye used to follow him around or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did you see a young Ye hanging around any when you were out there, Vic, or no?
Yeah, no, he came with no ID.
Oh, word.
One time to New York, and Kanye was sitting in my house, like just quiet in a corner.
Damn.
Quiet in a corner. That was
quiet in a corner.
Because
Kanye
quiet
West
in a corner because
was his jaw broken at this time, or this was before the car accident, right? I can't. I'm not seeing that. I'm sorry.
I know. It's tough, but he was quiet. I'm like, it's totally different Kanye. I mean, listen, when I first met him, he'd talk a lot. He'd be like, but it was more of a humble. He'd talk a lot. I mean,
he was nervous.
One time, I met him at Honda, DJ Honda's house.
Okay.
And he was like 17 years old or something like that. And he was like, "Oh man, I want to make beats like y'all." He goes, "Man, I want to buy me polo." And he goes, "Man, I like this polo thing." And he told me the year and everything of the polo.
Oh,
like the jacket I was wearing.
Oh wow!
Shit!
Wow.
Yeah, he's really into polo, and and he's like, "Yeah, I want to just get polo." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "Dang," And now I look back at that, I'm like, this guy could buy polo shops,
right?
Like,
right. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It's crazy, and it's you just never know what's going to happen.
No, you really don't.
Like,
you really don't.
And when you push and push, like they, it happened to them.
Right.
It happened to them.
Right.
They didn't sit back and eat a sandwich. Like, sometimes you think things are owed to you. Like that mentality feeds off. That people feed that off to you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, dude. Yeah. Nah, we're such and such.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, really? And you're like, oh yeah, we are. But damn, it doesn't feel right. Like,
yeah.
And you start missing opportunities. And then, then the problems set in.
Yeah.
You're missing opportunities. You're now it's like, oh man, we could have got this, but this person don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a problem, man.
Right.
I got to tell you,
ego is the worst thing, man.
Absolutely. We were just talking about that last week, weren't we, Meeks?
What was it?
The ego.
Oh, the
it's
ego
a problem.
Is a motherfucker.
It is
man.
a motherfucker. I got to tell you what, though, man. I mean, the Kanye thing is one thing. That's really that's literally like lightning striking, right? In my opinion, not to discount anything, but that does not happen very often, right?
Right.
But the
he's one of the last. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
I think that's safe to say.
Yeah, but No ID's story to me, man, is absolutely incredible. Like I was floored when I found out he was producing all of Jay's record. I mean, like that is unheard of, man. That is not supposed to happen. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? But that's the only way a record.
But if you go back,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just about to say real quick, Vic. I was just about to say that's the only way that record happens, man. You're not going to piecemeal a record like 444 together from different producers,
right.
different music styles. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, you get your guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, but now you're going back when, you're saying Kanye, that's, that doesn't happen. But that No ID, that was supposed to be the Kanye.
Right.
Funny how things work.
Right.
So because No ID was supposed to have that deal. He had the production deal, and then he was going to work on an album with them. All right. So what ends up happening? They told him what they were going to give him, and he said, "Nope, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that deal." And honestly, it didn't sound that bad. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but I was like, man, you know what? Honestly, I think I would take that. Like, I think you're kind of bugging out right now.
What do you mean? A deal with The Rock? A deal with Rockefeller?
Yeah, a production deal with Rock. Yeah.
Oh, that was supposed to be with No ID and Doug? Or just No ID?
Just No ID.
Just No ID.
Really?
Ah, okay.
Oh, shit.
I think it was just No ID. I'm sure. I didn't hear anything about that. I'm not 100%.
Interesting.
But I think it was just No ID because he called me asking me if I could cash a check for him. And
how much?
Yeah.
What amount?
I forgot what it was. I think it was maybe like 30, was it 30 grand or something like that? It was up there, and
He
so I was
asked
just
you if you could cash.
He must trust you, man. Well, you guys are tighter than you're letting on to be. I mean, I don't.
or if I could help him cash it or give him some money or whatever. Yeah, it was something like that. And because he was walking out and he was like, "That's it. I just want to go cash my check that I have," or if I could, whatever he wanted me to do. I was like, dude, I don't know. What are you doing right now? He's like, nah, I'm walking out of here. I took all my discs. I left. I don't want to do it. Blah, blah. And and that's one of the, I was like, all right. I was like, he's like, no, they think that, people are going to work for free or something to that nature,
Damn.
So,
Damn,
but it wasn't a bad deal. Again, it was not, I don't think it was a terrible deal, especially he would have had that platform.
Damn, that's crazy though. Man. That makes that story even iller. I mean, the fact that this has come, the way that this has come full circle. If he walked away from The Rock like that in the beginning, I mean, because all the articles, man, this is turning into a fucking just a story about interview about or a conversation about No ID. But what I read about 444 is that Jay was pushing him, like trying to commit to doing the record. I think I saw an article in Rolling Stone or something where, I don't know, I guess Jay was pushing, Dion to do the record, and like Dion wasn't having it. And I guess Jay had to like lobby pretty hard for him to like commit to doing the record. Which is even weirder. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
anyway.
it sound like Jay-Z trying to make amends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Like seriously.
In a weird way. Like, maybe it's, I don't know. That's kind of crazy, man.
In a wild ass way. Yeah.
It is. Anyway. Oh Lord, Meeks, what do you got, man? We've got had this guy on the phone for an hour and a half now. We got to let him go.
The last thing. And
I
think it's the least common denominator between all three of us. CountBassD.
Oh yeah,
the Violating
Big
remix.
Up the Count.
Yeah, shouts out to Count. The Violating remix. You and Count met in Nashville during the Me sessions.
Yeah, is that right, Vic? Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah.
Are those Sony sessions?
Yeah, those were Sony sessions.
Okay.
Those were also through Steve Style.
Okay.
I went over there to do some programming.
Okay.
Some drum programming. Me and Juju. Yeah. Yeah, that's how that happened to Steve, and we stood out there for about a week with Me Find Me and just looping up, drums and stuff. That was the base of it. And then, because he had his musician, so it was just mainly to put beats underneath his music, like make his stuff not sound so, whatever they were doing, like let's make it have a little hip hop feel to it. So.
Right. So how ill was that just like a few years later to like loop back around and run into Count again through Egon and all that? Vic, did you realize that initially when that all started coming back around again, or?
Yeah, it was crazy because, when when they say things go full circle, it is so true. I mean, when I wouldn't imagine hooking up with him again. It's incredible. How things, you just, again, you look back at life and you're like, wow, man, I wish I had all this documented like on a film or something, on video, whatever.
Right.
Because, it's stuff that you look back and, and I'm speaking to you about it now. I'm like, geez, like, wouldn't that make a great, like, everything I've gone through, like, wouldn't that make a great movie or interesting,
Oh, yeah.
Like, it'd be something fun. And, things that you look back and it's like, when your heart is in it, man, and you reconnect with those people. And I know that, come on, we don't count.
Yeah.
The guy loves this,
Yeah.
I saw it from when we all, when I first hooked up with, you and Egon with the radio interview.
Right.
At the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at that time I was like, geez, man, this, he's telling me, stories of his family and I know he was trying to get it at the time, and I'm like, man, this guy really just, and his, and then his family supporting him like that, I was like, man, that's good.
Right.
Like, and I was like, man, I don't know, so I look back now, I see him, I'm like, man, I'm happy for this guy.
Yeah. Vic, you familiar with his record with Snoop?
No, you know what? I saw clips of it.
Okay.
Oh, I'll send it to you, Vic.
Yeah, I think.
It's a great record.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a great record, dude. I'm going to send it to you tonight when we hang up. I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah, I saw it on I mean, it was on Instagram, so it's not the whole thing.
Yeah, it's great, man.
But I was like, oh man,
yeah, it's a great record.
I tell you, I still have. I was trying to get anyone to rhyme on this guy's that little CD that he had put out. Damn, what was the CD that he put out with the cartoon?
Oh, Dwight Spitz?
Old looking.
Yeah, Dwight Spitz.
Yes, Dwight Spitz.
Yeah.
Yes. The one with the piano.
Yeah.
I got to revisit it, but
yeah, great.
You know
record.
what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Dwight Spitz.
Man.
Yep. Yeah, great record.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I was trying to get somebody to rhyme over that.
Okay.
I was like, man, do people not get it? Like, this is
they don't.
Crazy right here.
Well, I tell you what,
just
though,
to ask you a question, they don't get it, Vic.
Yeah, I tell you what the ill thing is, though, Vic, is that you talk about all this full circle stuff, and to see Count and Snoop, do this thing, and then to see all the other ancillary shit that comes along with that. Like, I when I really bugged out, I bugged out when I heard it was going down, but when I really bugged out is when I saw Snoop on Instagram bugging out to Just a Player, which is the cut that starts that record off, basically.
Yeah.
In 2017, playing a cut off that record, Vic, and Snoop is jamming, talking shit. I'm just like, this is crazy, man. This is just so crazy how this how this happens. And it's like, you talk about, back then and, wishing you had documented things. And I think what people don't realize is that, you know, people had the advantage or the disadvantage of being so connected now. And also, you know, hip hop, you know, nationwide and even globally is in a much different space than it was when you met Count in Nashville in 4 or 5 or whenever that was.
Yeah, right.
So like, you know, that happening in Nashville at that time period was a big fucking deal. Whereas nowadays, you know, random weird shit happening all the time is like kind of the norm now. Like the rules and the access and whatever is like a lot different.
Yeah,
like,
it's totally different now.
You know, so that's what's so amazing about it is that, you know, and I'm sure there are things that happen now in the present day that are, you know, I guess the equivalent of this, but you know, you got all these, you know, now all these moments are documented probably in some form or fashion, right? But back then it wasn't.
Right.
That's just
back then it wasn't.
Yeah, it's just so.
I mean, I'm trying to dig up old, you know, Super 8 videos that I have, you know, from Far Side.
That's crazy.
I mean, meeting them at Roscoe's, you know, the Waffle House.
Oh yeah,
the waffle and chicken place.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You get that waffle with that chicken and gravy with the potatoes. Yeah, man. That goddamn sweet tea lemonade come. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm hungry the motherfucker right now. God damn, Vic. Fuck you bring up Roscoe for, man. Shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, I went and met them over there, and we had that on Super 8. It was like, no, I'm not Super 8, excuse me. I'm taking it back a little too much. What was that called? A little too far, right?
VHS?
No, I had a Super 8. That's funny because I had a Super 8 even after Super 8, like, you know,
played out.
It's like, hey, we don't use that. You don't use that anymore.
Yeah,
but I had it.
Yeah,
you know, but it was dope because it was an old school, you know, camera. And it's like, you know, and it was, you know, I mean, metal. But
was
anyway,
was it digital video like you talking about? VHS? Okay.
VHS. That's
Okay.
I remember I had just bought one of those. I think it was a VHS that fit in there. It was kind of big. You know, it wasn't like the small tapes. Whatever was around 91. That's when I bought it, about 91, 92, something like that. But anyway, I have footage, and I'm trying to find this stuff of you know, the Far Side, meeting them at Roscoe's.
So you got the documentary, Vic. You already got it, man. You just need to pull it out.
Yeah, if I can find it, man, that'd be a good thing.
Okay.
And even when I got to their crib, they had no furniture. All right, these guys had turntables in the middle of the living room with no furniture
on the floor,
graffiti all on the wall, like really, some really nice art up on the wall. And these giant speakers, just like you were in a club.
Right.
That was their house.
Damn.
I was like, wow.
I need to see this footage, really, man.
I was like, wow, this is incredible. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Vic,
then we went upstairs.
Why were you out there?
That was when the first the Intoxicated Demons.
Okay,
gotcha.
Intoxicated Demons.
Okay, I'm sorry. You went upstairs or downstairs or where were you going?
Yeah. No, we went upstairs to where they had a hangout room, and these guys are smoking so much. And
Vic, you smoke?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't.
At the time.
I take at the time, yeah.
Yes, you were smoking.
Today, I'm past all that. I do edibles. So.
Oh man, Meeks is out of control over here. He's lost it. He's lost it.
This was supposed to be a John Doe interview. I have taken over this.
Oh no, absolutely. That's
hey, Vic, real quick, man.
Wait. We didn't hear what was going on.
They were smoking so much.
Yeah, exactly. Finish the story.
They were smoking so. I mean, I had it. You know, I mean, at one point, me and Juju are finding ourselves with 2 joints in our hand. I'm like, look at this. We have 2. And so I'm like, Juju's like, dude, I can't smoke no more. He looks at me. He's like, I can't smoke no more. I'm ready to jump out that window. Dude, let's stop smoking. These guys just keep on like it's nothing. I'm like, geez, man, are you guys kidding me?
That's crazy.
That's that Cali shit.
Vic, how are you?
Yeah, that's that Cali shit.
Vic, how are you or how are you not getting around in the industry? Or let me put air quotations around industry. Like, how are you making moves right now? Or are you not making moves right now?
Okay. I wasn't. Well, I was making moves and not in the working with artists or anything like that and putting out records. What I had been doing was more of, reality TV shows, you hear the beds and stuff like that. So I was working with the Wolf Music and working with Beats and Rhymes, which was part of the Wolf, but here in New York. And, with a guy called, his name is Brian Hamilton. So he's done a lot of stuff, he's done a lot of placements. I've even gotten to do some trailers for Stomp a Yard. I forgot which number it was, but it was on the trailer, So I had a couple of beats on that. But just more stuff, MTV things, MTV shows, ETV, things of that nature.
Right.
But now I want to work on records again. So I'm taking all these beats that I had, loops, sounds, and I started making, I made one where I was like, yeah, this is what I want. This is the sound, this is what I'm looking for. I finally did one where, I'm happy with it. I feel like I'm back.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right.
So, that's what's up.
Well, I'd love to hear that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So now it's a repeating thing.
Yeah, right.
A repeating performance, but it's that one that makes you, gives you that energy, that feeling. It's like, wow, I can do this. This is not going to be an issue.
Okay.
And from a technology standpoint, you're probably on a new platform as well, right, Vic? So you're probably trying to find your footing there as well. Figure out what's going on with all the new stuff, or no?
Yeah. I just brought a S49, the new MK2.
Okay.
The Native Instruments.
Yeah.
So,
John, you was chopping it up with somebody about the MK2 this weekend, right?
No, I was talking about I was talking about the new machine, but there's a machine which is Native Instruments, but I think Vic, you're talking about the new keyboard, right? The new keyboard. Yeah, the new control.
The S49.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. So it's nice. It's a beautiful keyboard. I had a studio, machine studio.
Yep.
But and that's where I started doing the beats. But I want to play keyboards.
Right.
And the thing is, it's tougher with the pads.
Yeah.
And especially, I've been making beats, with Reason with a keyboard for so many years now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's all I've been doing. Hey, Vic, I rap. Send me some beats, man. I rap. I'm a little bit of a rapper. And I fuck with you, man. Send me some beats, dog. I'm from Memphis. I live in Atlanta, but I get down a little bit.
That's good. Meeks, man, this guy, I tell you what am I going to do with you? Oh, my God, he's knocking the mic over. Oh, Vic, be glad you're not here right now. Oh, Lord. Well, Vic, that's dope, man. I'm glad to hear you're back. You're officially back on the block, man. I can't wait to hear some shit. That's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I already have these projects that, what I have in mind is like, I just want to do some real different shit. And, and getting back to the beginning of our interview with the house thing, I'm also doing some of that, but more, almost like 80s, almost like more of an 80s sound.
Okay.
And, also, trying to mix it with like some disco. So trying to capture that transition when it went from like roller disco and, and you had your disco. Yeah. So just like really different sounding music, and it reflects also like the parties that I've been going to where I'm hearing sounds like, man, I can, I'd like to use that, but modernize it.
Right.
To some, degree, but makes it, but still feels old, So I'm just, I have a lot of ideas.
Yeah. Well, the great thing now is
this is where I'll get to do both.
Right.
So to speak.
Yeah. And now it's actually it's actually super cool to do both and be all over the map. Like now it's there are literally like no rules. I mean, period. And you've got all these different platforms where you can get your shit off and and you can go about your business and do what you want to do. So
no, I see, but it's a whole different game now. It's like, I think I got to start getting my DJ skills back up.
Yeah, right.
At this point, Yeah. Because it goes hand in hand. I think now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, there's a kind of a performance and controllers and all the DJing just completely different now as well too. It's it's wild.
Man, I'm hearing you guys. I'm hearing you guys like it's sizzling.
Well, we're trying. We're trying. We're definitely trying. We are absolutely trying. I tell you what, it's it's an exciting time, but at the same time, it's a little overwhelming. I was just talking with Meeks about this before we gave you a ring.
John,
yeah,
I can't understand what you're saying.
Oh, really? Can you hear me?
I'm hearing echoes.
Oh, really?
And it sounds real fuzzy.
Oh, really? Okay, hold on one second. Does it sound better?
Yeah, no, it sounds
okay. I don't know what
funny
happened.
Because I said it sounds like you guys are sizzling right now. And you said like, oh yeah, thank you.
I thought you were talking about the podcast. We were talking about DJing, and I thought you were talking about the show. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. So Meeks, the last bit was we were just talking about new stuff and what he's doing now.
Did he say he was gonna send me some beats though?
Did he?
That's why I walked.
I'm not committing to anything.
Okay. Well,
I don't know.
All right. Well, that's neither here nor there. All right.
All right. Oh man. All right. Well, I think there's a trillion more things that we could ask this guy about
because we didn't make it through all the prep time.
Yeah, Vic, I think we're gonna have to have a part 2 eventually. Maybe you can figure out a way to make your way down to Atlanta, and you can come out and hang out for a little bit, and we can
that'd be dope.
We can have part 2, and I don't know. We could have some fun. So
shit, I want to come up top.
Fuck. Yeah, right.
And I've never been out to Atlanta.
Oh, really? I thought you would have been down here for something.
Nah, I think the only time I've been in Atlanta was on like a connecting flight. That's about it.
Gotcha. A little layover, whatever.
That's
all right.
Yeah. So I've always wanted to.
All right.
To go.
Well, maybe we can figure out a way to make something happen. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dope.
So, so Vic, is there anywhere we can point folks to? I guess catch up on you, or Instagram or Twitter, or like what do you kind of want to leave the folks with?
Honestly, I'm going to open up accounts. Like I've already, I've been in conversation with a friend that's going to take care of that page. So, we right now we're just talking about not a personal page, but more of an artist page.
Okay.
Producer, whatever.
Okay.
So maybe on part 2, I'll have some more.
Okay, cool. Okay, beautiful.
But I'm I'm just setting that up now. You know.
All right. Okay, beautiful.
To be honest, getting my stuff together.
Right, gotcha. Okay,
but
cool.
But it's going to be fun. It's going to be some good stuff.
Good deal. All right. Well, if you're not familiar, there's plenty of stuff to go back, and do the history and and check out this man's work. It's quite extensive.
Yeah, actually, I have something on SoundCloud, my discography. I don't know. Have you ever heard it?
Your what?
You on SoundCloud?
Discography. Yeah. Look up the Mighty V.I.C.
Okay.
I have and just it's downloadable. It's mixed by Boogie Blind.
Oh shit.
And it's my discography.
That's what's
up.
It
really?
doesn't have everything on it, but there's a good 40 songs or 42.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right, beautiful.
There it is.
So that's on your SoundCloud page.
Yep. And if you want
the Mighty V.I.C.
Yeah.
All right, people. The Mighty V.I.C.
Okay, perfect.
On SoundCloud, mixed by Boogie Blind.
There you go.
Beautiful. Yep. I'll text it to you. I'll look it up and then I'll text it to you in a minute.
Okay. Perfect.
And if it's wrong, you can let your listeners know.
All right. Perfect.
Dope. All right,
Vic.
Okay.
Man, thank you. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you, dude.
All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys,
yes,
man.
sir. You got it.
A lot of fun.
All right. Be good. Have a good night.
Take it easy, brothers. All right. Good night.
All right, Meeks.
Yeah, man.
That's it. That could have been a 4-hour.
Easily,
interview.
Dude. We didn't get into nothing.
We didn't get into Big Pun. We didn't get into G-Rap. We didn't get into.
I wanted to ask about Joel Ortiz.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Joel Ortiz.
I love Joel Ortiz.
Damn, man.
He ill. Part 2 coming.
Part 2. We got to get him down here. We got to get him down here in the lab.
I don't care how we get it. We just got to get it.
That's right. That's right. We do.
It don't matter.
We don't do part 2s.
No,
you ever notice that? We haven't done a part 2 yet.
The first time I heard or somebody suggesting that we do a part 2 was the CountBassD interview.
Oh, somebody wanted part 2 of that?
Yeah, Count.
Oh, Count wanted part 2 for him.
He was like, we should. Actually, he wanted like a part, like a 17-part series. He wanted us to break that whole interview up into like 30-minute intervals.
Into a mini series.
Yeah, like Roots. But we still fledgling.
Yeah.
We trying to get it together.
Yeah, I never thought about that. In almost 3 years, we haven't done a part 2 of anyone yet.
That might make it easier on us, homie. We need to talk. We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Cool. Well, this is Southern Vanguard Radio. That E.H. Taylor, man. I tell you what, every time.
Is it E.H. or Ezra?
No, E.H. Taylor is what we set the night off with.
Yeah, I know.
Why do we have 3 bourbons down here tonight? This is unusual.
We wilding.
This is unusual.
It made for a beautiful Instagram post.
I'm sure it did. I got to reel it in.
Yeah.
All right. Southern Vanguard Radio at Southern Vanguard on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever the hell you call it now, Mixcloud, Stitcher Radio. Go share, like, follow, subscribe.
Please.
At John Doe ATL.
Yeah.
South Memphis Meeks, Cappuccino Meeks everywhere, all that good shit.
Yeah.
Twice a week Meeks, twice a week Doe.
Yeah.
We out.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.